With the plumbing on the Saltwater Aquarium 700 complete, it was time to start adding rock, and before I add rock, I always add sand. Wait, sand before rock? Yes! I put the sand down first and then I put in the rocks, and here's why. When I put the sand down first, I can take the rocks and then slowly work it into the sand. This way the sand's getting up, underneath, and around the rocks in a uniform fashion. This is going to give the rock more support, and if anything happens to burrow underneath the rocks, it doesn't matter because I've pushed them down to they're nearly making contact or completely making contact on the bottom of the tank. Now if I put the rock down first and then I put the sand in, there's going to be some cavities there where the sand doesn't get all the way beneath the rocks, which can make it unstable. The more sand I put down around a rock, the more friction I have around it, that can make it more stable, especially when I push it down into the sand. The sand we used on the saltwateraquarium.com 700 was Two Little Fishy's Outstanding Selection Special Grade Coarse Reef Sand. This sand comes out of the box so clean that I don't have to rinse it before putting it in the tank. That's really helpful when you're going to put in 10 boxes of sand into a tank. Now, all I got to do is dump it in and we're off to the races. Now we put in enough sand for about a 2-inch sand bed depth. Next up, rock. We use real reef rock as it looks great out of the box. It comes in a variety of shapes and sizes, including one of my favorite varieties, branch rock. Putting the branch rock down first gives me the base that not only elevates the rest of the rock from the sand bed, it also gives a way for water to flow under the rocks to help prevent detritus buildup. Fringe benefit. It's a place for fish to hide as natural caves and overhangs are created. One challenge of aquascaping Peninsula tanks like this one is you've got 3 tanks in one, because you can view the tank from this side, you can view it from this side, and then you can view it from the short end here. That means you don't want any of the rock touching these panes of glass. Therefore, the natural tendency is just to have a spine of rock right down the center of the tank. Now that's okay, but just piling up rocks in a straight line is boring. We want some variety in our aquascape, not only for us, but also for our fish. So the idea is to build fingers out from the center of the aquascape, build some lagoons in there, overhangs, things like that. And then here's a real bonus, is when you can put a spine, a highway, down the center of your aquascaping in a Peninsula tank, so fish can book it down the center of the tank, go through the rocks, and then dart back out of the rocks. This is really cool when you have athletic fish like wrasses and tangs. They're going to take advantage of that highway. I really like how the aquascape in the saltwateraquarium.com 700 turned out, as I achieved this center spine highway while making fingers and lagoons throughout the aquascape. The elevated aquascape will increase water flow under and around the rocks and give natural hiding places for fish. Pro tip, the more places the fish have to hide, the less they actually will. Once the aquascape was done, it was time to start filling the tank, which took us 3 full days. Yeah, not fast, but hey, we wanted to make sure we started with RODI water. Once the tank was full of RODI water, we checked the plumbing again for any leaks, then we added Fritz RPM reef salt. Dump that into the sump, let it mix up, and then check the salinity, then dump in more salt, check salinity, dump in more salt. You get the idea. Once the salinity was 1.025 specific gravity, or 35 ppt, we made sure the temperature was where we wanted, about 77 degrees. Then it was time to add the bacteria and start cycling the tank.